Hey guys, it's Tom from The Few. We are the few remaining members of Jes Gru, still recording and writing music and releasing music, which we are about to do. And I'm here, of course, with Bubs and Chili. You might know them as Tom Benevich and Jeff Davis. What's up, boys?
Hey.
Hello.
Good to see you, brother.
Yeah, good to see you.
What's up, fellas?
So we got a new tune coming out, which we're going to talk about. I'm actually, for the first time, I'm going to hear the story about what the song's actually about, even though I've heard it 100 times now, recorded it. But it's a different song. I think it's different sounding from anything we've ever done, either as Jes Gru or The Few, because we released, what did we do? We did Shine last summer, right?
Shine down on me, sweet Carolina. Little shine from up is all I need. In the summertime, that shine warms up my lady like a firefly. With the moon in front, that shine, she warms up me.
Yep. Winter, this past winter.
Please don't rush my winter. Beauty of the season is pain. Please don't rush my winter. Never returning the same. Never the same. Coming back all shining new. It's the way that it was always meant to be.
And then for this one, Bubs, because you wrote this one's called Dandelion Wine. And I don't know what you envisioned when you sort of demoed it, but it's very stripped down. It's like bare bones, and it breathes much more than anything we've ever done. So I'm curious, like when you wrote the song, was this the vision that you had for it?
Sometime we wake on Sunday morning. Little secret kept all to ourselves. Soon the bottle would capture.
Yeah, so that's always the fun part. You sit down, or I sit down with a acoustic guitar, and an idea starts to come out. And you're right, this one was very more, well, all songs are stories in a way, but this was a real personal story, which I'll share in a minute. But it didn't need a lot. I wanted the story to be told. And then once I had my part done, it felt like it's good. It's simple. But then the funnest part in this project is then to send it over to you, Nix, and then send it to Chili and see what you guys send back. And then that old Jes Gru magic, we like to call it, starts to happen. But now it's just a few magic. But anyway, so yes, it turned out what I had envisioned, especially, playing drums on the Few stuff, which is really fun for me. Mm-hmm. This needed to be a very simple, almost percussion part, not a full drum kit part. So that was different. I was like, well, no, we need drums. I'm like, no, we don't. So just did the little percussion part. So yeah, I think it turned out great. I hope everyone likes it.
I think that was the first ingredient, because you sent it to, we should recognize our producer slash percussionist in this case, does some keyboards for us. We call him Leopold because everyone in our group has to have a nickname, but he's John Nixon. Leopold. And so he sent that back. I think that's the tone for the tune. And then Chili, your part is like, we always use the term ear candy around each other. Like, it's so subtle, but adds so much. So I'm curious, when you heard just the percussion and the acoustic guitar, I think it's all you had, right?
Yeah.
What did you hear, and what was your approach to constructing your part?
Well, it was interesting. I can usually rely on Bubs to stay within the first 4 frets on the fretboard. So, when I got this one, I just kind of naturally assumed that that's where he was going to be on it. And so I started looking for chord positions higher up on the neck. And it wasn't until we actually got together and we were like talking and we decided, hey, let's just jam around with this, that he showed me how he was playing it, which was almost exactly the way that I heard it and started playing it when I just kind of learned it from the demo. And so when that happened, I started to realize I was walking a bit on some of his parts. And usually I'm really busy trying to cover up Bubs's guitar parts, you know? So,
yes, as is Leopold. But yes,
Are we going to edit this? We're going to edit this. Right?
Not so far. I don't see anything worth cutting, but go ahead.
Yeah. But this time he actually got north of the first 4 frets. And so I was like, wow, that's a really cool progression that he's playing. And I like what he's doing. It was full, but at the same time still had space to breathe. And that's what I heard. And so I started to just kind of arpeggiate the chords as opposed to strumming those chords. And some of that stuff just kind of came out, right? The syncopation of the notes just kind of organically evolved with me not trying to step on Bubs's part. But at the same time, I was coming in with the electric sound. He was more with the acoustic sound. And I was able to just kind of let those ring a little bit more than, again, you mentioned it earlier. It's different than anything we normally do. Usually we're kind of rocking on, these chords pretty hard, pretty full chords, getting a big full sound. And this song really started to call more for kind of a sparser sound.
Yeah, play a little of that. Just play so we get a taste for like what you're talking about up on the fretboard there.
Yeah, so it's like. So it was just kind of, a couple strings rather than hitting 3, 4, 5 strings in the chord. I'm really finger picking and arpeggiating those chords and just letting them ring a bit. And then it's not just your standard kind of 4/4 syncopation type thing. It's, I'm maybe playing at different points than I normally would. And so that's, I think, what kind of gave it a little bit different of a sound. And I also just found some clean sounds on my rig that I don't play around with as much as I probably should. And this song kind of required it, right? There was really no gain. There was really no crunch. It was going to be really sweet sounding. And so I played with a little bit of reverb. I played with some delay. And so as it kind of just came out, some of those delay notes then are coming in at times where I'm not even playing, but the delay note just seems to fit pretty well with what Bubs is doing. So
Edge made a whole career out of that, right? So you're in good company.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And I don't play with delay a lot. It's not really an effect that I have mastered at this point. But this one, certainly getting the timing of the delay right so that when it rings, and especially when you get to a stop, you want the echo of that delay to be in time with the song. And just finding that was something that kind of evolved with this tune.
Yeah. Yep. And then the bass part, I was apprehensive to lay down a bass part because when the song calls for simplicity, you don't want to be the guy that messes it up with a bunch of notes, right? And be like, so I think I asked you, Bubs, what you were hearing, and you're like, I don't know, just do your thing. And I'm like, So I asked Leopold, I'm like, what are you hearing for a bass line here? And all he said was, I don't know, something like doom, 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 doom. That's all he said. And I'm like, I got just the thing. Because that's what I was hearing.
Yeah.
So I wish I had a fretless, though, because it would have sounded great in fretless.
Well, that's musician talk. You just make noises, and then you're like, you know what you mean.
Yeah, exactly. It is, yeah.
And it feels like the safest place I know, just to feel warm grass between my toes.
Yeah. So let's talk about what the song's about, because the whatever we're going to construct had to fit the theme of the song. So what is the story that you're telling, Bubs?
Yeah.
First time I've ever heard it. I can't wait.
Wow. Yeah. So growing up, my mom and dad, they grew up in the Hamtramck area. So my mom would tell this story over the years, and I always heard it and listened to it, where her grandma, her grandma, her mother, her aunt, they would get together in the springtime, early summertime, and they would go make dandelion wine. And I said, what's dandelion wine? I never heard of it. So they would literally just go out, and she started to tell the story of how they would get up. They would go pick the brightest dandelions they could find. They had this whole process, and she talked about all these specific things. So my mom really kind of wrote these lyrics about all these things that were happening. So one day, again, I heard the story several times. I was sitting around a kitchen table with my mom and my sister, and we were just hanging out. And mom started to tell the story again. So my sister grabbed a pen and paper and just started writing down ideas. I said, capture some of this. I'm not sure why, but she just started writing down, we'd wake up on Sunday morning and we'd pick the dandelions, etc. All these different things. I took all that back home and sat down with my guitar, and then the song came out to kind of tell that story about how my mom, as a little girl, would go have this experience that was just so great. And what's cool about it is, like I said, the lyrics, obviously I arranged and changed things up a little bit, but a lot of the lyrics are words she would say. Like, I remember the chorus you'll hear goes, um, she'd say, after she'd tell the story, she goes, did it all really happen? There's so much I can't recall because I was just such a little girl. Anyway, it's like, it's really cool the way that came out. And the feel of it with your bass line, Nix, gives me that sitting on the dock of the bay feel, like a Sunday drive, which I love. And then Chili, you've got these little minor haunting in a good way chords where my mom was like, it was almost like a dream where she's thinking about this from when she was a little girl. My mom's 84 years old now, and it was a neat story. So anyway, the song came out and I was able to give that to her with the lyrics in a plaque and hang it on her wall with some flowers and a bottle of Dandelion wine. Not the one she made, but an actual bottle of Dandelion wine, which was kind of fun. So that's the whole story of Mama.
So what is the finished product though? This Dandelion wine, what is it?
It's a bottle of wine. So it is literally wine.
Really? It's so your mom's mom or something knew how to brew wine?
Yeah. So and that's where my mom's like, I don't know how they did it. My job was to go in the fields and pick it. And then there's another line where she said grandpa would bring down from the attic these big cement vats. And they'd bring these vats down and then they'd do whatever they did. But she didn't know it. She was just a little girl. And then they'd make dandelion wine. And don't tell anyone, but I'm sure my mom had a sip or two. She's probably like 7 or 8 years old. So yeah, it's literally dandelion wine. So interesting story. When I went to present this to my mom, I went shopping for dandelion wine and I could not find it anywhere. It was hard to find. So if you find dandelion wine, I'd say grab a bottle, and it's like a white wine. It's kind of sweet. It's good. But that's the story. They used to make it on their own, like moonshine.
Moonshine. Yeah, it sounds like the Benevich household that I know.
Very much.
Was it really happening so much I can't recall? Just a little girl with eyes so bright. There's nobody left to ask but this one sweet memory. The taste of dandelion wine in the summertime.
So yeah, like Chili said, when I was writing this one in terms of the chords, it's a little different than the way I typically do it. First, I normally use a pick, but I did finger picking on this one, and then took standard chords, but did a little different arpeggiation of them. So it's more like this. So little softer sound.
But it really needed, not that it was missing it, but when Chili added the bling, bling, that's what made it right there. Chili sauce.
Little chili sauce. And that's the truth. And that's why I love working with you guys, because it's the stuff you'd never think of. Like, again, your bass line, like you didn't know where to go with it, but your brother Leopold goes, and you do it. And then Chili just comes up with stuff, and it's just beautiful. So I love it.
Magic.
Yeah.
Sometime we wake on Sunday morning.
Chili, you ever heard of Dandelion Wine? Not the song, but the stuff.
Not before this. I will I will say, and I consider myself a fairly I guess seasoned
drinker,
wine connoisseur. So I have never tried dandelion wine. I'm curious now, if I'm being honest. Like I'm curious, Don't know that it'll be in my wine cellar, but it definitely has piqued my interest.
When this
Hard
song
to
goes
find.
platinum, we're gonna celebrate with a big thing of Dandelion wine. So,
But the really good stuff, right? Like we'll get Bubs' mom to like get the recipe or something.
absolutely,
I'm gonna go rummage around the attic and find a bottle laying around. That would be vintage.
Yes, it would. Chili, you and I were talking earlier about what might be our favorite part of the song is something that got added at the last minute. What do you love at the end of this tune that you think makes it?
Yeah, so I mean, I haven't had a lot of experience with this with our previous recordings either, unless it was Zip programming his Death Star to come up with some weird string arrangement. But when the viola came through at the end of this song in the last chorus, like I literally got like goosebumps, right? Like it, just to, and she did such a masterful, she being Emma, did such a masterful like play with working around the little fills I did with my guitar. Like she didn't walk on them. Like you could still hear them kind of standing on their own, but she just, the way she came in and out on these things, I'm sure it's a strings thing. I don't know anything about playing strings, at least not the ones with a bow. And so just to hear what she did with it and how well she did it without walking on the parts that were already kind of established was really, really cool. Like it's just, it fills it out so much. And at the same time, not to the point where now you feel like you're dealing with a whole orchestra, right? Like it really sounds intimate. It sounds like there's just one person playing strings. And it's just probably one of the cooler things I've heard come into one of our songs. Because none of us are talented enough to play those.
3, 4. Was it really happening so much I can't recall? Just a little girl with eyes so bright. There's nobody left to ask but this one sweet memory. Dandelion wine, dandelion wine, dandelion wine in the summertime. Sweet summertime.
Bubs, who is this one person that he's referring to?
Yeah, that's what makes the song even more special. So my oldest daughter, Emma, she's classically trained in viola and violin, and she played the viola part on the song, which is beautiful. And of course, Grandma loved that. I love that. And a quick plug, go to Emma Benevich. She is writing some beautiful music out there on Spotify. You can find her on everything. And also my other daughter, Haley Margot. She's goes under. She's got great music out there too. So that's enough plugs for my two children that do music. But yeah, Emma got to play on it, and it just made it even that much more special. And you're right. When here's what I did. I just literally sent her the song and said, "Could you?" And she came back with that. Nothing. I gave her. She's just great. She's that great. So
yeah, that's awesome. Well, we're gonna be riding on her coattails, Haley's coattails, my daughter's coattails. Chili, you got anyone gonna make it big? We can.
I mean, my youngest is 15. She's the only one in the family that's expressed any kind of interest in music, and right now she's in the middle of track and volleyball, so she has no time for music. So my piano has been sitting in my living room just dead. Nobody plays it.
Just looks that's not pretty. True. We got together last year and Zip played
a year ago.
Yeah, we played that. We did a little Roadhouse Blues extended medley, as is our typical want. Well, this is awesome. So we got 3 tracks under our belt. Brothers, what's happening next for the few? What are we gonna do?
Well, Chili, go ahead.
We need to write enough songs to put an album out and start touring, right? I mean, isn't that that's the plan for every band?
If you could tell, I've already started growing out my hair, so I'm ready when you boys are.
Yeah.
That's good.
Bubs, you got plans?
Go this way. I'm going to let this just go down to about the middle of my chest. I'm going to look like Frank Beard. I'm going to also get a guitar that like twirls around and stuff.
Nice. Yeah, we need some stage persona.
So the answer is yeah. So it's I don't know, been feeling really inspired, writing a lot of originals, and the funnest part is sharing them with you guys. And that's how the few came apart or about. Maybe I should tell that story real quick. Is I was just sitting in the basement, right? And writing songs and playing guitar parts, playing drums, singing, trying to do leads. And I'm like, why am I trying to do these things that I can't? So I called Nix, I called Chili, I called Zip, I called Heath, I called the Jes Gru, and that's why we're the few, because I understand not everyone can make it. So a few of us at times will be in these songs. So yeah, a lot more coming your way. And I know Chili, you've got some ideas that you're percolating. I know you do too, Nix. So we're just going to keep writing and sharing music and having some fun with it. It's just a special thing. And the fact that we've been doing this now for how many years? Awesome.
Yeah. Well, it shows by the looks on our faces and my hair is starting to recede. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but anyway.
I didn't notice.
No. Okay, good. We look great.
Mine's starting to come back.
Oh, all right. Well, the miracles of modern pills. All right, boys. This is awesome. I can't wait to the next one. Keep writing, keep rocking, keep rolling, and we'll see you next time, brothers.
All right. I will see you.
So,
There's nobody left to ask but this one sweet memory. The taste of dandelion wine. Dandelion wine. Dandelion wine in the summertime.